welcome once again to my channel. As always, I'm a bohemian honorable, and on here we talk about faith, family, and food. So today's topic is something that has been going on for quite some time, So we're going to be talking about cohabitation. Now, what is the right stand? Now, the truth is, I'm going to be looking at it from a Christian perspective, but this topic is beneficial to both Christians and non-Christians because the effect is independent on one's religion. Okay, so if you're interested, let's go. Okay, so what is cohabitation? So cohabitation simply means living together and having sexual relationship without being married. Now I'm talking about living together as a man and a woman and having sexual relationships without being married. Okay, I remember when I was growing up, this actually happened a lot of times around where I was staying. And there's actually a term my mom calls it paper bag marriage. Like in the world, it's now looking like it's acceptable. Okay, where you just pack your things and say, okay, I'm no longer going to be staying in this particular place because I have a relationship with this person. I think we should come together and stay together as husband and wife, even though you're not husband and wife. So there is a level of commitment, but the commitment is not as strong as that of a husband and wife. Okay, there are several reasons why people go into a cohabitation relationship. One of them is the fact that they feel, and this is actually is a more popular opinion. Okay, they feel like the people involved or the parties involved feel that when they are together, they'll be able to know the person in total before really finally making the decision whether or not they really want to stay with this person for life. Okay, so that's one of the most popular reason why you see people coming together to cohabit. Now, another reason why some people cohabit is probably because, okay, they've been in a relationship for quite some time, the relationship has been going on well, but they are having sexual relationships outside, and they're like, okay, since we are going to get married eventually, why not we come together to stay in the house together without the normal rites done, but we want to save a little bit of money to prepare for our marriage. So let us stay alone while preparing for marriage. Okay, that's another reason why, because they feel that, well, they've already got it all sorted out. I'm going to get married to this person eventually. So what's stopping me from going to stay with this person, whether or not I am married to the person? Okay. Another reason why people go into cohabitation is so that they'll be able to save money. Okay. These are the reasons why people go into a cohabitation relationship. And what is the Bible stand, or what should be a Christian stand in cohabitation? Cohabitation relationship is bad. There is no painting it. There is no painting it or trying to pad it. A cohabitation relationship is bad because 1 Corinthians says that we should desist from every form of sexual immorality and present our bodies unto the Lord. Okay, so every form of sexual immorality, whether you're going to get married tomorrow and you're cohabiting today, they are all forms of sexual immorality. There is no debate about it. Now the issue is that there are a lot of people that must have gone through cohabitation relationship and have passed through cohabitation relationship into marriage, and they know that it's wrong. They don't want to own up to the fact that it's wrong. And those are the people that are out there talking about the fact that it's very good because they are trying to hide their sins even when they are already married. So whether you pass through cohabitation relationship to marriage or you are cohabiting now, every form of cohabitation is wrong. It is a sin in the sight of God. And if you know it's wrong, it is better for you to stop it. Even though you've done it before and now you are no longer doing it, or you've done it before and it has led to marriage, it doesn't mean that it is right. Okay? It's not because it led to marriage that made it right. It is a sin. What is a sin is a sin. What is black is black. Irrespective of wherever or anyhow you want to look at it, it is bad. The number of people entering into a cohabiting relationship has skyrocketed. There is an increased rate of childbirth outside of wedlock. Why? It's only obvious if the number of people that are coming together without getting married have increased. Definitely the sin resulting from cohabiting would yield what? Would yield childbirth. And so the number of children right now around us and even everywhere in the world that are born out of wedlock has increased, and further destabilizing the community we are finding ourselves. There are some Christians, even pastors, that even accept cohabiting. There are some pastors that are even cohabiting. There's some pastors that are cohabiting. But the truth is that whether they are pastors cohabiting or they are congregants cohabiting or anybody is cohabiting that is a Christian does not make it right that for cohabitation to become acceptable in the sight of God. Now, what are the effects of cohabitation? Yes, we've talked about increasing births that are out of wedlock. Another effect of cohabitation is that now you find that relationships that are already cohabiting, they are not as stable as those that aren't cohabiting. Though the world might paint it that to seem that they are more stable or they are knowing themselves better, okay? But in the real sense of it, they are not as stable, they are not strong enough. They are not stable. So at the end of the day, you discover that if 100 people are cohabiting, maybe just 20 people that will finally get married. Even 10, 20 is even a lot. And so at the end of the day, you see somebody going from one cohabiting relationship to the next, to the next. And at the end of the day, that person becomes totally unstable in his or her relationship because he now becomes very confused in making decisions. After a while, that person cannot, except by the grace of God, be in any functional relationship. So cohabitation relationship causes instability in relationships, even within the cohabitation relationship, because you're not yet totally committed to this person. You're not totally committed to this individual that you're cohabiting with. So you find out that there are a lot of issues, as if you're almost like you're walking on eggshell around this person, even though you guys are even though it looks like you guys are almost married. Okay. Another thing that cohabitation can lead to is depression. A lot of times, people that are in a cohabiting relationship get depressed because there is something about when you know that this person is for you. Like, I am fully committed to this person and this person is fully committed to me. Yes, I'm not saying that there are some marriages that their level of commitment are not dwindling, okay? But it is even worse when you are in a cohabiting relationship. It is even worse, and it can even cause depression for the man or the woman, especially when the man or especially when maybe there is that mistake and then the lady finally falls pregnant. Do you know what the lady will be thinking? Hey God, I'm not getting married to this man. I'm already pregnant with his child. What if he does not want me anymore? What will happen to me and the child? And by so doing, you discover that whether the woman likes it or not, the woman will want to stick to the man, whether or not the man is actually the right person for her. She would now a cohabiting relationship would prevent you from getting a chance to even have a better marriage. When you're cohabiting, you're already living with this person that you are not committed to. Anybody that sees you knows you already, that you're already living with this man, even when you're not married, singles, especially our females. It is important for you that you don't enter into a cohabiting relationship because it will stop your chance. It is one thing for you to be in a relationship. It's another thing for you to be in a cohabiting relationship, because that cohabiting relationship is as if you have already buried your mind, whether you like it or not, whether the person is good enough for you or not. You have zeroed your mind that that's the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because when you are in such a relationship, definitely your friends will know. Definitely you cannot, any other person, whether far acquaintances or friends, they already know that this is the kind of relationship you're in. Okay, whether you hide it or not, it will definitely come out in one way or the other. Okay. Now, just imagine that person is not God's will for your life. That person is not the right person that you're already staying with for your life. Do you know that it's different from when you are in a relationship that is not the will of God, but you people are far apart? So it is easy to actually even say, okay, I'm not doing it again. Than for you to be in a relationship. Where do you want to start from? So it is very, very unwise of anyone to be in a relationship, even when you are 100% sure that, okay, this relationship is going to end in marriage. It is better for you to be on your own and have your own space than going to wed yourself and having relationships and sexual immorality that actually would put you into more mess than you would want to be. Okay. Some people could be asking that, what if I'm in a cohabiting relationship? We are not sleeping together, or he has his own room and I have my own room. We're not sleeping together. We are Christians. We are Christians. We are not sleeping together. We are just living in the same house, but it's as if we're living apart. Why will you put fire in your pocket and not expect to get burnt. Is it not the same flesh I have that you have? You have an emotional relationship with this person, and you are deceiving yourself that if you are together, even though you're in separate rooms, nothing will happen. It's going to take only a matter of time. The greatest deception anyone can actually face is when he or she deceives himself. There is nobody that is indispensable to falling. Do you understand? So it's better for you to prevent it. So now, what are the myths of cohabiting? There are a lot of people that believe actually that living together before marriage will result in a happier marriage. As I said, it's a myth. It's a big myth. It is not true. It is unreal. It is the deception of the devil to put you in bondage. It is. There's a better way to do it. What about courtship? Why do we have courtship? Why do we have a dating period? Courtship is the time where you get to know the person you're getting in a relationship with or you are about to get married to. So courtship is a very fundamental part of every Christian's marriage. That is why it is important for you to have conversations. Have conversations that are important. There are books, there are things that you can use to kickstart conversations that will really tell you who this person is without staying with the person. Okay? Another myth is like a temporary solution to financial instability. Like I've said severally now. Okay? There are other ways to go about financial instability. If this brother or if this sister loves you and you are having financial stress at the moment you guys are in a relationship, there is nothing wrong for the sister to say, oh, brother, I have this brother that you can stay with. Okay, can you go and stay with this brother? Even if the brother does not have, even if the sister does not have a brother, he or she can stay with. And she has a sister, she cannot say, okay, please, I will leave the house if that is, if it's to that extent. She can leave her house and say, okay, you can now start staying, pick her things and say, okay, I'll go and stay with this particular sister. Pending the time you resolve your financial issue, you can be staying in my house. So that's if it is so serious, And another thing you need to know is that marriage itself, it's a God ordained covenant. It is a covenant between you, God, and your spouse. Okay, so it is not just only about staying together in the house because of your financial instability. You have to realize that it is a spiritual affair. Marriage is more spiritual than it is physical. Another myth is that people feel or people believe that if you stay with a man before you get married to the man, it will reduce the rate at which people enter into marriages that have domestic violence or abuse. Man, the truth is that from records, and you can check this online, that there are more people that are attacked domestically and even abused domestically that are in a cohabiting relationship than there are that are married already. So you cannot now say that you want to be in a toxic environment before entering the main environment. Do you understand? So it's important that you realize that whether you are married or whether you are not married or it will even increase the toxicity. The domestic violence tendencies are more when you are in a cohabiting relationship because there's no commitment. There are some people that enter into cohabiting relationships and even their various families don't even know that they're in such a relationship. My sister, run for your life. Run for your life because, oh Lord. So it's important you know that the percentage of those people that are even facing domestic violence are those people that are even cohabiting. They are more than those people that are married. You see, so it does not really tell whether or not you will have a successful marriage. It only increases your sin. Important for us to know that cohabiting, it is a sin, and apart from the fact that it's a sin, it has negative effect on you as an individual, either the male or the female. So why would you put yourself in such a dilemma and face such emotional breakdown and baggage? Instead, it's better for you to stay on your own until you're ready to get married. Okay, so it is important as Christians, as children of God, that the number one thing we seek is to please God. Okay, and the thing is that you are not pleasing God and fighting yourself. In the long run, the Bible says that the thoughts and the plans God has for us is for good. So if God's plans towards us are good things, okay, and he's telling you that he doesn't like this, it simply means that the thing he doesn't like is not going to favor you. It's not going to favor you. And please, as many of you guys that have been in a cohabiting relationship and have gone into marriage, that doesn't mean that you did the right thing, okay? It's one thing to get married, but it's another thing to have a firm foundation. You could actually cry to God and say, Lord, please, this was the route I used in entering into my marriage. I'm sorry, it was out of lack of knowledge. The Bible says that people perish as a result of lack of knowledge. So you could actually, instead of coming out and projecting and pushing people to do what you did so that you won't be alone, it's better for you to repent of your sins now and turn a new leaf. And as many that are thinking of going into a cohabiting relationship, this is a warning that you should stop. You shouldn't think about it anymore. You should desist from it. I hope you had a wonderful time listening to me. If you have any other reasons why you think people should not go into a cohabiting relationship, kindly drop it on the comment section and we'll be glad to read it. Thank you very much. Please, if you know you haven't subscribed to my channel, why don't you click on the subscribe button, kindly share and like the video. Thank you once again for listening. Until I come your way next time, bye.